Morgan, the next advenger, by Dylan's Little Hobbies. Chapter 7. Tony then quickly got to interrogating Morgan. Where do you come from? Where do you get my suit? He scanned the suit. It's definitely Stark design. Morgan struggled. No, I can't tell you. You've got to let me go. I have to go after them. Fine, I'll help you. Just tell me what's going on. Tony yelled back. I can't. Fine, Freddy prepared to open her up like a tin can, please. Suddenly, several machines in the back started to activate. No, you can't. You could run the suit. It's all. I gotta take them down. Well, then tell me what I want to know. No, she yelled. Freddy, Tony called out, and several machines started rolling closer. Oh, but you won't believe me, Morgan said. Tony rolled his eyes. Look, I've been through a wormhole above New York fighting alongside an actual mythical god, a man who's served being an ice and a literal green monster. He'll believe anything at this point, so try me. Morgan was a bit surprised at that response and just blurted out the truth. Looking from the future, I got the suit from Mr. Stark Pepper. One of your future employees and those idiots made a time machine based off your design and came back to kill you so that you can stop an oncoming war that wipes out half of all life in the universe. Tony Stark just nodded to right it. He sighed. I don't believe you. It's true. You're the inventor of the time machine, Morgan snapped at him. Well, co-inventor, I guess Morgan says. Why would I even make a time machine? He laughs. I mean, of all the irresponsible things I could do, his expression loses its smile. Morgan awkwardly smiles at him. Realizing Tony built a robot that tried to destroy the Earth, he quickly lost faith in himself. Oh, God, I built a time machine, didn't I? Yup, Morgan replies, and my plans got in the bad ends. Yup, Morgan replies. Tony just bonds and smiles. He keeps nodding and smiling. You okay? Morgan asks, God damn it. He yells and kicks a rack full of electrical parts from building his suits. Can anything I do protege my girlfriend? He slumped down into a chair. A long pause of silence filled the air. Morgan, still trapped in her suit, finally spoke. Are you okay, Mr. Stark? Tony sighs. Do you have any idea what learning about a super threat out there in the world feels like? I mean, at first it was just humans with guns, my guns, but now it's stuff I don't even understand. Allens, cause now I'm troble, I can get a break. He started hyperventilating, hearing off for a second. Morgan, for the first time, saw her father freaking out. She heard he suffered, but never seen it till now. Tony cut his breath and returned to her. Okay, what now? How do we stop the time travel, big guys? He said sarcastically. This was the first time Tony saw her face. And do I know you? You don't hire me for quite a few years. Actually, it was Pepper that hired me. Tony just nodded. You look really familiar. Tony said, don't think about it too much, Mr. Stark. Morgan laughed. They then started working to improve Morgan's suit. What's your name anyway? Tony asked. Mine, if I keep that to myself. Morgan asked. Tony rolled his eyes. Fine, kid. Let's get to work. Freddy, give me a scan of her suit, please. Freddy did so, and they started tinkering with it as they quietly worked together, father and daughter. Tony would say, hand me a plasma wrench, and she would know exactly what it was. She handed him tools and went over to her suit design through the holograms. Where did you learn this stuff? Not even Stark employees know half of what you do. Morgan chuckled. Might have taught me a few things, but mostly it was well, you see, my dad died in the war, and this other guy took me under his wing and tried to teach me a thing or two. Mostly I figured it out on my own, watching old vids of my dad. You said you knew Pepper. How close are you two? Tony asked. She's my boss, and you and me. Why did you come back but not me? Tony asked. No one was supposed to These guys did. I jumped in the suit that I knew Pepper had and allowed them trying to save Pepper in the long run. Save her? Tony asked me. She was captured. That's a first, Tony said sarcastically. Believe me, I think you were fighting somewhere around there. I don't really get to know you, Mr. Stark. I know more about you than actually know you. You're far too busy of a man. Tony chuckles. Good. I stop a warhog. We won right. Morgan at first pauses for a moment. Yep, okay. 'Cause if I was, I would make a time machine and go back and fix it, right? Morgan gulps at this. Yep. So I lose the wood, don't I? Morgan turns around, you won the war. I wouldn't be here if you didn't. That's enough about the future, just get to work. She says, annoyed it was starting to get late. Tony got a call. I'll pick that up, will it? Buck said, not knowing who it was. Morgan picked it up and saw it was happy. It's happy. She said a bit of sadness in her voice. Oh, then it's Pepper here. Hand it to me. I'll tell her he'll be home tomorrow. Morgan hands her dad the phone. Hey, Pepper's wondering where you're at. She can hear her happy voice. Her is beginning to swell as she hear Tony say, Yippee, don't worry about me. I get called in for something. Does it have anything to do with the 5 o'clock news? Pepper is in the background. Tony says, yes, honey, don't worry, I got it covered. You always get yourself into trouble. What do you got yourself in now? She asked, not much, just keep happy by you tonight. Do me that favor. Pepper says already on it. They'll be working late too. I gotta get ready for a new press meeting now. What should I say about this incident? Tony chuckled, the same thing you always do. Up by honey, love you to Pepper. Tony hung up the phone. Come on, let's go get some dinner. I'm starving. Wiped her eyes a bit, put a smile on, and replied with, can we get some cheeseburgers? Now they're talking. Tony replied back to her as they ate their dinner. Morgan noticed Tony stayed very quiet and had the same look she gets when she's deep in thought. Happy was right, she thought. They are alike. Anything up, Morgan finally asked. It kind of surprised Tony for a moment. He didn't think he was going to be interrupted. War, tell me, what did I do wrong? Tell me, how can I stop it before I lose? I figured it out the second, Morgan replied. You want, that's all that matters. No, tell me what I'm supposed to do. Tell me how I can stop it. Maybe I will never have to make a time machine. That way this mess wouldn't exist. Morgan finally ate a last bite of her burger. Can I ask you something? Morgan asked. Tony rolled his head in response. Why Avengers? Why not the Justice League? Tony replied as a joke. Morgan chuckled. Why not the Justice League? Tony nodded. We were just a ragtag group. Thor's brother Loki came and made things bad for all of us. Thor wanted his brother back. I just wanted to keep the world safe. And why is that? Why do you have to do it? Is there other people with powers? Why are you a hero? Morgan asked. Tony smiled. They call me a hero. It feels good. But all I want to do is make the world safe for my little family, Happy Pepper, and my friends who I gain along the way. Morgan laughed. Sounds like something my dad would say. Tony nods. I could predict your dad, from dying in this war. Just tell me how. Why Avengers? Morgan insisted. Because if we lose this fight, we will sure as hell avenge it. Tony replied. Morgan smiles. Well, that's what you do, Tony. You are an Avenger. That's how you stop that war, the same way you did in my time. Tony shook his head. The Avengers are done. Just because you had a fight with Cap doesn't mean you weren't an Avenger. How do you know that I fought with Cap? He asked. The events of the Avengers is legendary in my time. We all know how you guys saved the world multiple times, some of which you didn't. Some of us wish you leave well enough alone. But you don't, you Avengers all and save the world. And now I'm going to do the same. Morgan replied with a smile. Tony chuckled. I think your dad would be proud of you. Welcome to the team. What? She asked. You're an honorary Avenger now. And when you get back, get the band back together for me. Will ya? Morgan smiled. I'll do my best to continue your legacy. Or get some sleep, kid. Tomorrow we're going after the Morgan nodded and headed off to bed. An hour later, Tony called Rhodey and told him what was going on. Okay, Bree, you got your heart and waded deep, Rhodey replied. You will. Here's the thing. He checks to see if she can hear him. I can let the girl suffer my mistakes. This may be a future mistake, but it's mine. I gotta do this alone. He'll send her back when I have the crooks under my control. Rhodey shook his head. I haven't even flown yet. No, Rhodey, I don't want you anywhere near this. I just need you clearance codes. Why do you need my code? It's easier to explain this to the Midi and to Pepper. I mean you. Rhodey was interrupted. I could just take them. Come on, you saved me about an hour of hacking if you just give them. Rhodey shook his head. Up fine, but you better not die. Thanks, buddy. I'm transferring them now. Rudder replied and hung up the phone. In minutes turn, he was able to track all flying objects within American borders, and he noticed one was on an out-flight motion. There you are, I got you, he said to himself. For watching. Let me know how you like it so far in comments down below. Subscribe for more fanfic chapter.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.